Hi, I'm Rebecca, and I did a project focusing on moving toward a plant-rich diet and away from a meat-based diet. Um, so currently, the prevalent diet in most Western countries, including here in the United States, is heavily based on meat. According to Project Drawdown, around $1 trillion in healthcare costs every single year is due to unhealthy meat-based diets and the chronic illnesses that can result from an unhealthy diet like this. In addition to being unhealthy, it's also pretty bad for the environment too, especially the consumption of beef. Cattle ranching is a leading cause of deforestation in the Amazon, according to Yale. And in addition to being a cause of deforestation, cows also produce huge amounts of methane gas, which is a greenhouse gas, which depletes our ozone layer, making beef especially problematic. So the scale of this problem is absolutely massive. Let me move my video down a little bit. Every single year from 2000 to 2013, an area the size of West Virginia in the Amazon was deforested, according to the Rainforest Action Network. And 28% of this deforested land was used for animal agriculture, which amounts to an area 5 times the size of the state of Rhode Island. This deforestation has had an enormous impact on indigenous communities in the Amazon, who are losing access to their lands at unprecedented rates due to things like cattle ranching as well as oil harvesting. So why does it matter? Firstly, this is a change that we can all undertake at the individual level. Every single person can reduce their meat intake and make a difference. And it takes every single person changing their behaviors in order to make this change. In addition, the impacts of animal agriculture, again, primarily fall on indigenous communities, and they can't fight this battle themselves. We're coming from a situation of power here in the United States, so we have a certain moral responsibility to help these communities. Lastly, if we all make this change, the demand for meat will vastly decrease, which will force companies to change their current practices and hopefully move toward more sustainable ones in the future. So what can you do to make this switch? Firstly, you can find an alternative source of protein. Some examples include beans, legumes, cereals, soybeans. However, you should always base this on your own health and do what's best for you, as well as do research on the impacts of some of these alternatives because they can also cause harm. However, broadly, these are a little bit healthier for you than meat. So if you limit your meat consumption, that's awesome. But if you still do consume meat, try to source what you can as locally as possible. So whether that's going to a farmer's market or forming a relationship with a local farmer and buying meat from them, anything more locally sourced is going to be better for the environment. And that's my presentation. Thank you very much.